This week's parsha, Chayey informs us about Sarah's death. The Torah introduces it, however, a bit differently than expected. Vayu Chayey Sarah, 100 shana, 20 shana, 7 shanim. This is the life of Sarah, 100 years, and 20 years, and 7 years. This translation, while technically correct, doesn't do justice to the Hebrew, as the word vayu is plural and not singular. Using the plural would imply that Sarah somehow lived more than one life. How is it possible that Sarah had more than one life, and if she did, what does that even mean? Most commentators don't address this question, but ask something else. Why is it that when Sarah passes away, the Torah describes her final age as 100 years, and 20 years, and 7 years? Why emphasize each digit column by itself rather than putting the number together and saying 127 years? They answer that the Torah is coming to praise Sarah. Sarah, even at 100, was still like a 20-year-old in relation to certain traits, and that even at 20 was still like a 7-year-old in relation to other traits. In other words, she retained her youthfulness and youthful outlook throughout her life, even as she advanced in age and matured through life experience. No faint praise indeed. Interestingly, though, the Torah uses this age enumeration also by other people. Yet the Midrashim and the commentators make this distinction only by Sarah and by no one else. What made Sarah so special that the Midrashim and commentators understand that the Torah is coming to comment on and praise Sarah's life rather than just telling us a factual piece of information? It is because the Torah starts off the paragraph with Vayu Chayey Sarah, using the plural rather than the singular as the Torah usually does by most other people. By using the plural instead of the singular to introduce this paragraph, the Torah is telling us to pay attention to the enumeration of Sarah's age, hinting that she had separate and distinct parts to her life. In what way then was her life divided into separate and distinct parts? The Midrash Agadah states that Sarah's life was essentially divided into two significant parts. Her first 90 years that she was barren, and the second 37 years that she was a mother to Yitzchak. In other words, her function and purpose in those two distinct time periods were vastly different, as if they were two different lives. In the first part, she was Avram's partner in spreading God's name in the world. As the Midrash says, Avram addressed and converted the men, and Sarah addressed and converted the women. That was her life goal during those years, standing at Avram's side and doing her part of the mission. For the second time period, however, Sarah was exclusively Yitzchak's mother. This was a supremely important task to which she needed to completely dedicate herself to ensure that Yitzchak would grow up worthy of continuing Avram's life's mission. These two distinct time periods are also reflected by her name and name change. Her original name was Sarai, indicating one type of mission. But right before Avram's Brit Milah, God changed her name to Sarah, implying that she will have a new mission in her life, in particular, to give birth and to raise Yitzchak as Avram's true heir. By starting the paragraph in the plural rather than the singular, the Torah pays tribute to Sarah's life and accomplishments. They were so full and great, it was as if she had lived more than one. Shabbat Shalom.